If electricity was never discovered or harnessed, the world would be vastly different from what we know today. Electricity has had a profound impact on every aspect of modern society, so its absence would lead to significant changes in various areas. Part 1: Technology and Communication. In a world where the wonders of electricity were never unlocked, the tapestry of human existence wove itself in ways both familiar and strange. The absence of this mysterious force had profound consequences, particularly in the realms of technology and communication. In the early days of this alternate reality, humanity relied on mechanical ingenuity and steam power to fuel their creations. Machines clanked and whirred, driven by gears and pistons instead of the invisible currents of electricity. The concept of a world connected by the digital ether was but a distant dream, a notion unfathomable to those born into this existence. Communication, once on the cusp of instantaneous transmission, now took the scenic route. Messages traveled through a labyrinth of couriers, horseback riders, and semaphore towers. The notion of picking up a handheld device and speaking across oceans and continents was pure fiction in this world. People gathered in marketplaces and town squares, waiting for news from distant lands to arrive, carried by travelers or printed on paper. The lack of electricity cast a pall over entertainment. The vivid screens that had once mesmerized minds remained as mere mirrors, reflecting the world around them. The notion of moving pictures, once animated by electric currents, existed only in the pages of science fiction. Instead, the theatrics of shadow puppets and live performances took center stage, captivating audiences with the raw talent of human performers. The engines of progress chugged along, albeit at a more ponderous pace. Factories were driven by the relentless rhythm of steam, and the sky was painted with the smoky hues of industry. Innovation relied on mechanical ingenuity and clever engineering, as the digital wonders that propelled our world were absent. Inventions that had sprung forth thanks to electricity's dance remained dormant or undiscovered, tucked away in the minds of visionaries unable to bring them to life. Cities stood as beacons of ingenuity, though their skylines lacked the electric glow that had once marked the march of civilization. Instead, gas lamps and candles lit the night, casting a warm and nostalgic glow over the streets. Technology and machinery were still sources of awe, but the absence of electricity drew a sharp line between the known and the unknown. Yet, within the constraints of this alternate reality, new forms of creativity emerged. The absence of instant gratification led to a society that savored the tactile and the tangible. Artisans honed their skills, crafting intricate wonders by hand, while storytellers wove sagas that captivated the imagination without the aid of screens or speakers. In the heart of this world, humanity had constructed a different tapestry of existence, one that marveled at the analog intricacies of life. The interconnectedness that electricity had fostered was replaced with a slower, more deliberate form of engagement. While the world lacked the technological leaps that shaped our own history, it flourished with a unique charm, a reminder that even in the absence of a single force, human creativity and adaptability knew no bounds. Part 2: Industry and Manufacturing. In the heart of this world, where the absence of electricity cast a different hue on existence, the rhythm of industry and manufacturing followed a path divergent from our own. Steam-powered behemoths stood as the giants of production, their hissing and clanging a testament to human determination. Factories, sprawling across landscapes, echoed with the symphony of machinery powered by steam engines. Gears interlocked and belts turned, driving looms, presses, and assembly lines. Skilled workers toiled diligently, honing their crafts as the mechanical pulse of their creations resonated through the air. In this world, the art of manufacturing was deeply intertwined with the tangible. Automation, as we know it, was a distant idea, overshadowed by the mechanical intricacies that ruled the realm. The absence of electricity meant that conveyors and robots were but fantasies that never came to pass. Instead, teams of laborers guided the journey of materials through each step of production, a dance of human hands and ingenuity. The intricate precision that electricity had once enabled was now achieved through a different form of mastery. Craftsmen and engineers collaborated closely, harnessing the potential of steam and mechanics to achieve feats that were astonishing in their complexity. The marvels they wrought were reminiscent of a different era, a world where clockwork mechanisms and ornate designs held sway. Industry marched forward, albeit at a pace that prized careful attention over sheer speed. Innovations emerged, driven by the quest for efficiency and the artistry of mechanical design. Without the allure of instant automation, the world reveled in the beauty of the mechanical ballet that unfolded before their eyes. Raw materials were transformed into goods through a symphony of labor and creativity. Iron and steel were shaped with precision, textiles woven with meticulous care, and products assembled with the touch of a skilled hand. The human touch was a hallmark of this world, a reminder that even in the absence of electricity, ingenuity and dedication remained paramount. As the world turned, factories sprawled across landscapes continued to churn out goods that bore the mark of their creators. While the pace of production might have been more deliberate, the pride in craftsmanship was immeasurable. Each creation was a testament to the spirit of invention, the yearning to fashion the world in the image of human dreams. In this realm, devoid of the electric spark that shaped our own history, industry and manufacturing had forged a path illuminated by steam and fueled by tenacity. The legacy they left behind was one of artful precision, where the symphony of machinery and the rhythm of labor merged to create a tapestry of human achievement, woven not by currents of electrons, but by the timeless spirit of innovation. Part 3: Transportation. Amidst the landscapes of this electrified world, where the currents of electricity had never flowed, the realm of transportation painted a different portrait of movement and exploration. The absence of electric-powered vehicles transformed the way people journeyed and connected with the world around them. In cities and towns, the roads bustled with the familiar clatter of horse-drawn carriages and steam-powered locomotives. Steam engines powered trains that thundered across tracks, their rhythmic chugs echoing through valleys and hills. People would gather at stations, waiting for the plumes of smoke to announce the arrival of these mechanical giants. The concept of electric cars and vehicles remained a wistful dream in this world. The streets were populated by carriages pulled by horses or powered by steam engines. The pace of travel was slower, deliberate, and more in tune with the natural rhythms of life. Journeys that we might take for granted in an electric world were embarked upon with a sense of adventure and anticipation. Long-distance travel took on a different dimension. Ships plied the oceans, guided by the wind and the skill of their captains. Ocean liners, powered by steam engines, carved their paths through the waves, offering a link between distant continents. The world was still connected, but the connections were formed through a different orchestration of movement and time. Air travel, as we know it, was a concept shrouded in uncertainty. Without the power of electricity to fuel engines and navigation systems, the skies remained a domain largely unexplored. Hot air balloons drifted on the breeze, offering glimpses of the world from above, while the dream of mechanical flight remained a puzzle yet to be solved. The pace of transportation influenced the patterns of human interaction and exploration. Journeys that would have been undertaken in a matter of hours in an electric world now stretched across days and weeks. The act of traveling became an immersive experience, a passage through landscapes and cultures that unfolded in slow motion. In this world, the absence of electric propulsion evoked a nostalgia for the past, an era where locomotion was a blend of art and engineering. The clatter of horse hooves, the hiss of steam, and the creak of wooden carriages defined the soundtrack of travel. The connections between people, places, and cultures were forged with patience and an appreciation for the journey itself. As the world moved forward in this distinct reality, the absence of electricity reshaped the landscape of transportation. The roads were populated with mechanical steeds and vessels of steam, each one a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. While the dream of electric propulsion lay dormant, the world remained in motion, following the winding paths of a reality that unfolded to the rhythms of a different pulse. Part 4: Medical Advances. In the heart of this world where electricity remained a hidden secret, the domain of medical advances took on a different guise. Without the electric spark to power intricate devices and delicate procedures, the realm of healthcare relied on the tenacity of human skill and the wisdom of ancient practices. In hospitals and clinics, doctors and nurses navigated a landscape defined by manual precision. The absence of electric-powered diagnostic tools meant that diagnoses were often made through careful observation and deduction. Stethoscopes and sphygmomanometers became the primary tools for gauging the rhythms of life that resided within the human body. Surgery, while still a vital aspect of medical care, was conducted with a focus on hands-on expertise. Surgeons honed their skills through countless hours of practice, relying on their own dexterity and knowledge of anatomy to guide them. Without the aid of electric lights, procedures were often limited to the hours of daylight, adding an element of urgency to each operation. Imaging, as we know it, was a different story. The intricate details of the human body remained hidden beneath layers of flesh, and without the X-rays revealing touch, doctors relied on their palpation skills and experience to uncover the mysteries within. The visual insights offered by electric-powered MRI and CT scans were absent, leaving the medical world to chart its course through tactile exploration. Even life support, which in our world is intricately tied to electric-powered devices, took on a different form. Ventilation and resuscitation were carried out with manual techniques, reliant on the strength and expertise of medical professionals. The absence of electric monitors meant that the vital signs of patients were observed and interpreted through human senses, a practice rooted in intuition and experience. In this world, medical advances were not marked by the dazzling array of high-tech machinery that we know. Instead, they bore the imprint of a society that navigated the challenges of health and illness with a more direct, hands-on approach. The connection between doctor and patient, forged through careful observation and shared experience, took precedence over digital readouts and diagnostic algorithms. While certain medical achievements remained within reach, the world existed without the rapid leaps in medical technology that electricity had enabled. The absence of electric-powered instruments and devices meant that medicine was deeply rooted in human connection, trust, and expertise. As medical practitioners grappled with the limitations of this unique reality, they wove a narrative of healing that was defined by their dedication and the timeless art of medicine.